to the music hall, and Tori Amos has joined me here. This is the music hall because it's kind of a hallway between two studios. We don't mean it to sound like it's a big hall or anything.
Well, it kind of sounds like a big hall, Nicole. It's kind of like a closet. It's kind of like a little kitchenette where you could cook chocolate chip cookies, but that's cute.
All we need is an oven.
Yeah, you need an oven and some good dough.
Cool. All right. We'll do that after. I saw your show last night at the Pantages Theater, and it was really wonderful. It was the first time I had been able to see you live. I've enjoyed your music for a few years, but I'd never been able to get to one of your concerts. And the crowd was so appreciative of you. I was a little surprised at the screaming when you took the stage.
Well, they're not passive.
No.
My audience isn't passive at all, but we respect each other. That's the main thing, I think. We both have a cracker in our butt. Both of us do, them and me. But there are times when you gotta kind of sit on it. And they know that it's a moment of give and take, really, where it's a bit like a dance, the whole show, where you explode and then you come back and rejuvenate. And I think that's what the whole give and take thing's about.
Yeah, what surprised me was, again, like young girls screaming like it was a Beatles concert when you walked out. And it's like, wow, okay. But when you sat down at the piano and you played, you could hear a pin drop in there. It was really nice. It was just wonderful. So I wanted to let you know what a experience that was for me last night. I really enjoyed it. And I urge everyone, I know the 3 shows at the Pantages are sold out, but you also have a show Saturday night at UCI Crawford Hall. There's still some tickets for that.
That's in Irvine, right?
Irvine, down south. And then you go up north on Sunday to the Arlington Theater in Santa Barbara, which is a beautiful place. So there are tickets available for that. So, for someone who doesn't know you, say there's somebody sitting out there. It's like, okay, her name is Tori Amos. I've heard of her, but I don't know anything about her. Who are you and what do you do?
Oh, boy. I make really good chicken. And I don't have very much luck with boys. I'm a really good friend. But I think that my songs are much more interesting than my personal life. And the idea that I mean, I don't hurt flies, but if you cross me or my piano, the butter knife is going to be up your dress. That's it.
That's a healthy attitude, I think.
My piano is the most important thing to me. And it's 9 feet. It's bigger than anything Metallica has.
Yeah, I would think so. I don't know firsthand, but I would agree with you. You're going to play a couple of songs. Why don't you do one? Will you do one first?
Yeah, this is off the Cornflake EP that came out a few months ago. This is one of my favorites. It's called Honey. Never stole me none. You like my shoes, I kept them on. Sometimes I can hold my tongue, sometimes not. When you just skip to do my darling, and you know what you're doing, so don't even. You just do, you're still mourning out. You just do, you're still mourning. And I think I could leave your world if she was the better girl. So when we died, I tried to bribe the undertaker, 'cause I'm not sure what you're doing or the reason. You just do, you're still mourning out. morning now. Don't bother coming down. Made a friend with the western sky. Oh, don't bother coming down. You always like your baby's tight. Done one last time. Love to watch those cowboys ride. The cowboys know and cowgirls ride on the Indian side. And you know what you're doing, so don't even. You just do yes till morning. Just yes till morning. You just yes till morning now. You just yes till morning.
Tori Amos live at FM 101.9. That song is on the EP that you released with Cornflake Girl.
Yeah.
It's not on Under the Pink. Beautiful song. I have like cards full of questions. There's so many things. I was thinking, God, there's so much to ask you because you're a fascinating woman. You started playing piano at 2.5. Now how? I mean, most kids at 2.5 maybe climb on the piano and start like pounding on it. Did you just sit down and you were able to play? I mean, how does it work with a child prodigy?
I was really playing before I could talk. Wow. I didn't think much about it. I don't know, the fairy sprinkled something on my head, one of those things. You can't really explain it. It just happens to you.
So it was just there. It's just
just happened.
See, that blows me away.
Kind of like peeing in your diaper, you know? Sort of the same thing.
Okay. And the singing, when did you start singing?
I didn't have much success at first with that because Kevin Gregg said I sang like a frog. He wrote this on a piece of paper in 4th grade to Peggy Shaw and said, I love you forever, Peggy. God, Ellen Amos, that's what I was called, sings like a frog. And I was pretty devastated, and I wasn't going to sing again. And my brother said, you listen to Robert Plant, and you sing to his records every day, and one day they'll stop laughing at you. And that's what I did.
Wow. And you did. I mean, you're a major Led Zeppelin fan.
Mage. Yeah, Robert's my buddy.
Yeah.
He's great.
Yeah, you made a reference to him last night at the show, and the audience kind of had a collective gasp, like, and then you said that there wasn't a thing there, that you just met.
Yeah, we're buddies, that's all. Okay. Just buddies. I think the thing about Robert is, he's just, the reason they call him Percy's for a reason. He's totally in love with women. He loves women. And that's a great thing. You don't feel that from some of the guys in the musician guys. You don't really know what their sexual orientation is. That doesn't really matter, but some of them don't even like women no matter what their sexual orientation is.
Or maybe don't have respect for women.
Yeah. Or like them. You know what I mean? Like yummy. Like, God, I just love their essence.
Right.
And Robert loves the essence of women, and you feel that when you're around him, I think. You just feel like he loves it. And I like being with him. He's a passionate person, and he always inspired me to be a passionate performer.
Which passion kind of goes hand in hand with Tori Amos, I think. You bring up sexuality and yumminess, and you kind of exude that. I went to the show last night with a friend of mine, a male friend of mine, who just has it so bad for you. And I think you have one of two effects on men. One is that one that my friend had. He just adores you. He wants you in the worst way. And the other is kind of a threatening thing. Do you find that a lot, that men are threatened by you?
Yeah, intimidated, yeah. I think it's because it brings stuff up in them. It just does. They feel sometimes inadequate, which is kind of sad because I love nerdy guys. I mean, I really love them. At the same time, if they're not going to stand up for themselves, I'm not going to kick them in the face, but I can't do it for them. And I just think if a guy doesn't feel good about himself, sometimes he doesn't feel so great around me because I don't censor much. And I don't think I'm unkind. I think I'm really loving to men. Because I do. I adore them. But at the same time, I don't pretend either. If they're not working on stuff, it's like, who are you hiding from, honey? It's so obvious what you're doing. The tough male bit doesn't work with me. I just start laughing. I can't not laugh because it's so cute. On one hand, you're going, God, this is so obvious. I have to laugh at this tough male thing.
Yeah, a lot of men, I think, are threatened by someone who is strong, just naturally strong. A woman, I'm talking about. They don't know how to deal with that, and they think they're supposed to be the strong sex. So maybe that's where the conflict comes in. I had heard, I don't know how to put this because I don't want it to come out wrong, about your stance on stage, the way you sit on the piano bench. And I'd seen you in videos and stuff, and I know what you're about, and you're enjoying the music. I mean, I think that's all part of it. It moves through you. It's part of you. I expected some kind of like sex act on the stage from some of the things I had read, and I don't think that's that at all. But how did that evolve? How did what you do at the piano bench happen?
I played clubs, and for so long, people would just be ignoring me, drinking their strawberry daiquiri, right? And treating me like I was part of the wallpaper. And you're going, okay, this isn't any fun for me because we're not communicating. And part of being a performer is not being part of the wallpaper, unless you're paid to be like live music, which wasn't what the job was. So I started to decide the only way that we could have a relationship is if I made it so that they could have one with me. So I open up the right side of my body so that they feel like they can come in and that we're having a conversation. That's really how it started. And then it's incredible physically. I have so much more power that way than if I sat the quote-unquote traditional way. I have an incredible amount of support from my back leg. My diaphragm is supported. I have so much more strength to hit that piano. That's why one reason the piano sounds so powerful, besides, of course, my sound man, and besides, of course, it's a Busendorfer, is that I have a lot of strength to hit it, and I'm supported by my whole back leg so that I can throw force into my instrument.
So there's a lot more to it than just the sensual, sexual, erotic aspect to it.
There's loads of stuff. Obviously, it also, I mean, I move with my music. It's about an energy force, and it's flowing through me, and it's part of that too, but that's just a part of it. It all works together.
I agree. I mean, I saw it as it's just all the music. It's all part of it. Do you have any inhibitions at all? I see you as this free spirit. And it's like, I'm always afraid of certain things that, saying things like I used to be involved in a radio show that got risque sometimes, or just things like that. And I always thought of my father. I couldn't do these things if my father could hear it or see it, or cause, you know, it's like daddy's little girl. And you come from a very strict background. Yet you seem to have no inhibitions, that there's no censorship.
I don't think I have any inhibitions. I do have tastes, though. I have personal tastes. I don't find that being inhibited. They're just certain things that I won't put in my mouth. You know, it's like there's certain foods I won't eat because I don't think they're yummy. I'm very much a yummy girl. If it's yummy, I'm there. But it's like, if it's mushed up beetles, I don't think so. And that's not just with physical things, but that's just a philosophy. If it's a vibe, or if it's a person or a conversation, I'm really into yummy. But I don't see myself as inhibited.
No, I don't see that either. But I understand what you're saying. As long as it doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth, you feel good about what you're doing.
Yeah.
There's no problem there. Some women emulate you. I noticed that at the show. I saw some women. There was one right behind me who had red hair, dyed the same color as yours, and she was very much, I don't want to say a Tori wannabe because I don't want to put her down, but emulating your style. They look up to you. And then it's just like the men. There are two types of men. I think the women, then there are the feminists who just don't get it. What do you think they're upset about?
Sometimes feminists don't get it, but I never have problems with women.
You said that some women are very cruel to other women. What did you say? Girls are the most vicious creatures alive to each other.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're so much more, let's put it this way, our nail files are hidden.
Mm-hmm.
But boy, they can do some damage. Yeah, guys don't even understand that world. They don't know what goes on in the ladies' room. They have no idea. Which is okay, but they're pretty obvious. We know when they're dissing us.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it takes 2 seconds to know where they stand. That's not a put down to them, but they wear their heart on their sleeve. They're like, they're not into it, they're confused, whatever. Ugh. A woman, she'll come in acting like she's your best friend so that you can trust her so she can get information to annihilate you.
Mm-hmm.
And women have the patience of a saint. They really like the spider. They can weave a web.
And wait for the right moment to pounce. But on the other hand, you also notice the nurturing side of women, and I don't know if I'm getting the vibe right from God, when in the song God, you need a woman to look after you.
That's all about, honey, you're not doing such a good job, and you need some advice, and I ain't busy. So here,
so
I need to take over. Yeah, well, I think that it's about calling forth the goddess, that whole song, really. And it's about not feeling inhibited to say to the patriarchy or to God or to Jesus, whatever, say, hi, Jesus, you did a good job. I don't need your services. I can work this out on my own. Maybe I'm going to bumble it a bit, but I have the tools and the capacity to figure stuff out. I don't need you to do it for me. I respect that you did it for you. I can do it for me.
Tori Amos is our guest at FM 101.9. They told me you're going to play 2 songs. You did one. I have so many songs I want to hear. I know. I should probably just let you pick whatever you've planned to play, because I have a list of you did one last night. I won't give it away because I don't know if you're going to do it again each night and if it's a surprise. But the second to last song you did blew me away because I loved that song. In high school, I'd play it over and over and over again. And I'm one of those people that music moves me to tears. I mean, if it's one of those kind of songs, and boy, you did last night. That was just really beautiful. So if you want to play it, that would be great. If you don't, I understand.
I kind of saved that.
That's what I figured. That's why I didn't want to even say what it was, because
it was Landslide by Stevie Nicks, but I don't play it every night. I do different covers every night. Maybe I'll do a little Prince. Mm-hmm. Maybe I'll do a little Joni. Maybe Zeppelin. Whatever comes up, they show up. They have different times when they want to come, really. They just kind of show up and go, play me now.
What made you record Smells Like Teen Spirit?
Well, I just think that represented how the guys felt so much. And I did it with a lot of respect, but I brought it to the piano because it's what I understand. And I felt like I wanted to take it to the feminine place of rage. Not that quiet is feminine and loud is masculine. I'm not saying that, because L7 can hold their own quite nicely, but I'm just saying I felt that there was the whispered scream that I wanted to bring to it.
You did. Beautiful. All right, I'm just going to ask you to play another song, whatever you choose.
where are you going? Where are you going? Icicle, icicle, where are you going? I have a hiding place when spring marches in. Will you keep watch for me? I hear them calling. Gonna lead down. Gonna lead down. Greeting the monster in our Easter dresses. Father says bow your head like the good book says. Well, I think the good book is missing some pages. Gonna lead down. Gonna lead down. And when my hand touches myself, I can finally rest my head. And when they say take of his body, I think I'll take the mighty instead. Getting up, getting off, while they're all downstairs, singing prayers, sing away. He's in my pumpkin PJs. I lay a book on my chest. Feel the word, 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 feel it. Well, I could have, I should have. Flown, you know, I could have, I should have, I didn't. So icicle, icicle, where are you going? I have a hiding place when spring marches in. Will you keep watch for me? I hear them calling. Gonna lead down. Gonna lead down. Lay down. Gonna lay down.
Tori Amos live at FM 101.9 Icicle, found on Tori's latest CD, Under the Pink. I don't want to ask personal questions, but you said you're not good with boys. Is the relationship not happening anymore? Didn't you have a relationship with, is it Eric Rossi?
Yeah.
Is that?
Yeah, Eric Ross. We're still very close, but we just need to grow on our own now. So we both feel good about it. We feel like it's a good thing. So I'm really on my own, and I'm just learning about myself. It's a big step for me.
Something we all have to do too.
Well, you have to before I think you can really give. And I think before I can really give to somebody, I have to understand some things about myself. So I thought it was the most respectful thing to do to me and to him. And we both are very dear to each other. So it's a good step.
That's good. You say that songwriting is therapy for you. But a lot of your songs, and you say this too, I've been reading, that they're coded. I mean, I've had a hard time reading some of the stuff, and I can think, okay, well, this is what it would mean to me. It's, in many cases, probably not what it meant to you. Is that intentional?
Yeah. I like people to make their own relationships with the songs. Obviously, some are going to be more of a diary, and then some are more like an impressionist painting, so you can crawl into it and let it be what it is for you. And then others are just very much like God is pretty much thrown up against the wall.
Right.
It's very clear what that is. Whereas some of the others, you can kind of crawl in and like past the mission, I think it's a bit more of a painting that.
One song that's pretty stark and right out there and was a very moving moment last night was Me and a Gun. And obviously that dealt directly with an experience you had with rape. But the response you got to that song caused you to take some action.
Yeah, we have an 800 number. It's 1-800-656-HOPE. And we feel really good about putting that together. It's 24 hours, and I got so many letters from so many young women who want to talk really with anybody they didn't choose to, go seek out help. So I felt like they needed to have something easy that if they just needed to talk to somebody, that it could be there.
So it's a 24-hour hotline. It's a group called Rape, Abuse, and Incest National Network.
Yeah, we call it RAIN.
RAIN. And you're a founding member, and it's funded by Atlantic and Warner Music.
Yeah.
That's great. I'm going to make sure that the number and information on that gets in our public service rotation because there's a lot of people out there, especially in a city like Los Angeles, who don't know where to turn, who've been through.
And it doesn't cost anything. That's what was real important to me is people that can't afford it or people that don't want it on their number. If they don't want anybody to know and they want it private, they can call it at any time. And it connects you to the closest rape crisis center where there are people that are trained that are there and that have been there before. They've got no judgments. They've been there.
You've been touring, it seems like, since this album came out. And I got to say, thank you so much for coming in today. You did the show last night. I saw you on Channel 5 this morning at 8:30. Now, you had to be up at like 6 to do that. You must be exhausted.
Yes, actually. Yeah, but whatever. You do. But I'm not into whinging. I'm having fun.
I was just going to ask.
It's I know what it's like when nobody wants to listen to your music. It sucks. I've been there. So when people want to listen to your music, it's a thrilling thing. I think when success comes so easy to certain people, they just have no idea. They have absolutely no idea if they haven't crawled to get it. So I crawled big time to get it. And I appreciate it, I think, a bit more than the ones that just kind of, I don't know, get on a bus and show up and get a record deal. They complain a lot more because they didn't play bars for 15 years and have beard spilled all over their piano. And, you just see it real differently. It's like, oh, I got to get in the limousine and go down and do this. And it's like, oh, shut up.
So are you glad Why Can't Tori Read?
Of course, I'm glad. It's the best gift I ever had. I have no illusions about the music business. I have no illusions. That my self-worth is not wrapped up in this fame game. I'm very clear on it, and that feels good.
And you learn the lessons, and you learn to be with yourself, and it's like the relationship thing, kinda.
I have a harder time in my personal life than my music life. Music life makes much more sense to me. I understand that. I don't really understand people that well. I can't understand. It's like, why can't we just hold hands and have Oreo cookies? I don't understand why we can't do that.
I'm there with you.
I can't understand why you wouldn't want jam on your peanut butter. That strawberry jam is so good and it's dripping down my finger. I don't understand why you wouldn't want that. So, it's over my head.
And it feels good to know, like, when Under the Pink came out, it entered the Billboard charts at, number 12?
Yeah.
That must have felt really, really good.
Felt really good.
So people are getting it.
Felt really good, yeah. It's good in this, because this is my home country, and I've done well in England, and I didn't know if it would ever get over here. So it's a wonderful thing to be able to come to the place where all these songs really took root. I mean, this is the country where it happened. So it's I think the kids, too, are responding because it makes sense to them. They know what I'm feeling. They know a lot of that religious repression. They understand it.
Nice that your parents get it.
No, well, we won't go that far, but they're very cool.
That's good. You have a good relationship
they get
with
it
them
that,
now?
What it is they get it that they don't get it, which is very cool.
And you agree to disagree on certain
Yeah, we
things.
get along great.
Great.
I mean, they're great roadies, my parents. They're fun. They're a trip.
Cool. So what's next? How much longer are you touring?
Till December, and then I have no idea what I'm doing.
Are you already writing for your next
yeah.
whatever?
It's already starting.
So where's home now?
Rocket Cargo at LAX. That's my address.
All right. Well, you always have a home here. Tori Amos, thank you so much for coming by.
Thanks,
It's been a
Nicole.
pleasure. I hope this was more pleasant for you than our last radio experience. That wasn't exactly together, but I kind of felt responsible for it. So I know it didn't go too well.
They know everybody knows what you're talking about.
I think so. I used to work on another radio show, and not to put those guys down, but they didn't quite get the music, and you have guys who maybe don't know how to deal with strong women. It goes back to what we were talking about before. But
well, you're here.
I'm here, and
That's the main thing.
yeah, and we're having fun. And again, tonight and tomorrow night at the Pantages Theater. Those tickets are sold out, unfortunately, but Tori Amos is also appearing Saturday night at University of California at Irvine at Crawford Hall, and Sunday night at the beautiful Arlington Theater in Santa Barbara. That would be a great place to see.
Yeah, that'll be neat.
The Pantages was beautiful, too. That's a nice old theater in Hollywood.
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the little sphinxes to come out of those, those little openings up top on the left and right hand side of your theater. I'm waiting for the anyway.
Well,
I'm just waiting. The thing I'm waiting for in the show. When are those little sphinxes going to come out and dance naked? I don't know.
Oh, that could be fun. And watch what you ask for.
My tour manager says that could be very fun to her.
There are all kinds of special effects people. We're in Hollywood, All right. Tori Amos is with us, FM 101.9. Thank you so much.